May you soar upon my face.
Spree. Double kill.
Not bad.
Triple kill.
What up, humans? Kurumi here, and welcome to the Mobile Legends Bootcamp. In this video, we are going to talk about the assassin, Ling. Ling has a good set of blink, area of effect, buff, burst, and crowd control skills. Our Cyan Finch, Ling, is an assassin hero. I consider Ling as a mobile assassin, since he can leap from wall to wall, making him to reach his target faster and also escape death. Not only that, his ultimate skill makes him invincible while casting it. Now, let me share some tips and tricks on how to use Ling based on my experience. I will also teach you some combos and techniques on the latter part of this bootcamp. But before that, let me explain his skills one by one for further understanding. Ling's passive, Cloud Walker, is #blessed by his superb lightness skill. When resting on the wall, Ling restores extra 2 lightness points per second. You might ask, what are lightness points? Well, lightness points are consumed every time he uses a skill. You can see the amount of lightness points you have by checking on the gray bar, just below your health bar. He also restores extra 5 lightness points every time he deals damage to enemies. This passive skill grants Ling additional 20% critical chance, but it decreases his critical damage by 40% in return.
Swords run deep.
Ling's first skill, Finch Poise, lets Ling leap to a designated wall. Before we discuss about his wall leaping adventure, this skill permanently increases Ling's critical chance by a percentage, which will depend on this skill's level. Upon casting it towards the designated wall, Ling will leap above that wall and will enter a camouflage state. This camouflage state will make him untargetable by basic attacks and some targetable skills. When he receives damage, he will end the camouflage state. If he is crowd controlled, he will take the effect and fall onto the ground. After using this skill, you can use it again to leap to another wall. Jumping into another wall will also refresh the camouflage state. We will be showing some experiments regarding his camouflage state on the tips and tricks section. Ling's second skill, Defiant Sword, lets Ling charge towards a designated direction. After the dash, Ling will stab the nearby enemies in a straight line, dealing a certain amount of physical damage.
One sword reflects one.
If Ling casts this skill while he is above in a wall, he will dash to the designated area and will deal a certain amount of physical damage to enemies within the area of effect, and will have their movement speed reduced. If this attack deals critical damage, enemies hit will have their movement speed reduced even more. Take note that if this skill hits an enemy, it will regenerate Ling's health by a certain amount depending on the skill's level. Also take note that this skill can trigger attack effects as basic attack. An example of that would be Lifesteal, Endless Battle True Damage Effect, and etc. We will show some examples of it on the tips and tricks section.
Legendary.
Ling's ultimate skill, Tempest of Blades, lets Ling leap up and cast his superb sword skill. During the casting, Ling will be invincible and can move freely. After the casting, Ling will charge his sword towards the Earth's core, and will deal damage to enemies within the area of effect. Enemies within the center of the area of effect will be knocked up into the air for a short time. This skill will also generate a sword field that will last for a few seconds. At the edge of the sword field, there will be 4 lightning blades. By touching one of it, Ling will have his second skill cooldown reset, making it usable again.
Triple kill.
Picking up a lightning blade will also restore 5 lightness points.
Double kill. Triple kill.
There are so many items that you can buy for Ling. You can focus on items that grants physical damage, critical chance, critical damage, and items with attack effects. For me, I choose to buy items that grants physical damage, critical chance, physical penetration, and items with attack effects. You can actually consider the kill then back build if you want to focus on damage dealing. You can also consider the win S5 no tank build if no one picked a tank hero on your team. But kidding aside, you can choose the Kurumi way if you prefer having Retribution as your spell, and if you intend to farm in the jungle in the early game. As for starting item, you can consider buying Raptor Machete. This item is a jungling item, so when buying this, I recommend that you have Retribution spell with you. Anyway, this item grants physical attack and physical penetration. Its unique attribute grants additional damage to monsters. Another unique passive of this item is Breakout. Every 10 seconds, your next basic attack will be buffed with additional true damage. The amount of true damage increases as your level increases and slows down enemy. Dealing basic attacks will reduce this unique passive's cooldown. Another unique passive of this item is Greed. This passive grants additional experience when jungling. You recover some health and mana every time you kill jungle monsters. Another unique passive of this skill is Gorge. This unique passive grants you physical attack every time you kill a jungle monster. This stacks up to 15 times. Lastly, this item makes the spell Retribution applicable to enemy heroes. Upon using Retribution, the target will have his movement speed reduced and will deal a small amount of true damage. You can consider buying Magic Shoes. Magic Shoes grants additional movement speed and cooldown reduction. The cooldown reduction can help you cast more of your skills. You can consider buying Berserker's Fury. This item gives you additional physical attack and critical chance. Its unique passive grants you additional critical damage on your critical hits. Also, dealing critical hits will increase your physical attack by a certain amount for a short period of time. This item can compensate the critical damage decreased by your passive skill. Buying attack items such as Endless Battle can boost your damage effectively. This item gives you additional physical attack, health, mana regen, lifesteal, movement speed, and cooldown reduction. Its unique passive grants you additional true damage on your next basic attack after using a skill. Triggering the passive of this skill also grants you additional movement speed. With the cooldown reduction in its unique passive, Ling will be more explosive with this, since his second skill could trigger the true damage effect. You might also want to consider Blade of the Heptases. This item grants physical attack, health points, and physical penetration. Its unique passive grants your next basic attack to deal extra physical damage, equivalent to a percentage of your physical attack if no damage was taken or dealt within 5 seconds. This perfectly works with your second skill since it includes basic attack effects on it. You might want to consider Blade of Despair. This item grants additional physical attack and movement speed. Its unique passive will give you additional physical attack when the target's health is below a certain percentage. The movement speed bonus can also help you chase enemies or escape death. Lastly, you can consider Immortality. This grants you physical defense and health points. Its unique passive lets you resurrect after 2 seconds upon death. This resurrects you and give you 15% health points, and a shield that lasts for a few seconds. This item has a really long cooldown. The item build for Ling really depends on the enemy's lineup. So make sure to read each item's description so you can adapt in-game. One of the best spells to be used on Ling is Retribution. This will deal true damage to the target minion or jungle monster. When you have a jungling item, having this spell will decrease the damage taken from jungle monsters permanently. This spell will help you farm more gold faster. Building items quickly in the early game will give you advantage against enemies, making it for you to prey easier on squishy targets like Marksman and Mage. You might also want to consider the Forbidden Jutsu, Execute. This lets you deal true damage to the target. The damage is based on the target's lost health points and also with your level. The damage ignores shield absorption, meaning it pierces through enemy shields. This spell will have its cooldown reduced by a certain percentage when an enemy is slain with this spell. In my opinion, the best emblem set to be used is the Custom Assassin Emblem set. Custom Assassin Emblem could provide extra stats according to your needs as an assassin. Set agility to its max level because it can give you additional movement speed. Higher movement speed means higher chance to chase enemies or escape death. Setting invasion to max level will provide you physical penetration. Higher physical penetration means higher damage on your basic attacks and skills. Get killing spree to restore health points and gain movement speed upon killing an enemy. This effect lasts for 5 seconds. With Ling's second and ultimate skill, he can definitely kill enemies swiftly as possible, so this will definitely let him survive inside team fights further. But in case you are not that type, just consider Bounty Hunter or High and Dry instead. In my opinion, you should increase his skill 1 and skill 2 alternately. You should proceed with increasing skill 2 first, since it will help you to kill jungle monsters at level 1. Prioritizing his first skill makes the cooldown of this skill lower, the lightness points consumption lower, and the critical chance granted higher. That means, you can cast this skill again as soon as possible for mobility, and can possibly deal more damage to enemies. Prioritizing second skill will increase the base damage of this skill, and will also increase the health regenerated from it. Always upgrade the ultimate skill when available for upgrading.
Deployed.
Ling has a hidden buff. This Oriental Warrior buff increases Ling's and any other Oriental Warrior's movement speed for every Oriental Warriors in your team. Oriental Warriors include Zilong, Ling, Baxia, and Wanwan. Wanwan is a hero to be released in the future, so stay tuned. As far as I've observed, this buff increases Ling's movement speed by 2 per Oriental Warrior. I'm pretty sure the buff also applies to all Oriental Warriors and not just Ling. Ling's passive skill is what you need for early damage dealing, with the granted additional critical chance. This can give you an advantage against enemies since you can deal critical hits more than them. And take note that it's in the early game. Heroes in the early game are squishy, so this is the best advantage you can get. His passive also grants him additional lightness points restored when he is on a wall. So, it is advisable to restore your lightness points above in a wall, then waiting for it to be restored while on ground. Ling's first skill is what you need to leap from wall to wall. With the ability to be able to travel swiftly by leaping on walls, this will either help you respond to your teammates faster,
An ally has been killing spree.
or to escape death smoothly. Like on this scenario, the enemies really did their best to catch me.
Not bad. Alone is another word for splendid. Avoid it, or just undertake it.
Launch attack.
Or to chase dying enemies by being the best Lara Croft that can ever be. Just make sure that you have enough energy, or lightness points, when trying to travel on walls. You don't want to end up stuck on a wall, waiting for your lightness points to restore, while the enemies are also waiting for you to get down. Did you know that when you are leaping on walls, you can't go down to the ground without using a skill, or dealing basic attacks?
Alone.
So, if you want to go down, deal basic attacks to anybody, use your second skill or ultimate. Or maybe wait for enemies to deal crowd control on you. Take note that this skill will be on cooldown when you get off the wall by any means.
Kill whoever I want to kill.
As promised, we will show you some experiments for this skill, like what we always do. We always need the aid of our favorite lab rat, Rakuten, to demonstrate other heroes' skills that you should take note of when using Ling. First off, he has a different name today because this is on the advanced server. But still, it's our friendly lab rat, Rakuten. So for this scenario, he will be using Zilong. We tried if Zilong can use his skills to put Ling down. But as you can see, he is just a standing statue because he can't use his skill. It is because we are on camouflage state. He can only use his skills towards us when we are not in the camouflage state. As you can see, he cannot also deal basic attacks to us because of the camouflage state. So, in general, Zilong is not a good match against Ling since Ling can just leap on walls, enter camouflage state, and get off the Zilong's grid in no time. Now, we will be using Franco against Ling. As we all know, Franco's hook can pull enemies towards him. But, will this work on Ling even when he is in camouflage mode? Let's try it. As you can see, Ling can be pulled by Franco's hook. Franco is definitely one of the enemies you should be aware of when ganking. Next, we have Selena. As we all know, her abyssal arrow could stun enemies for 5 years. So, we still have Rakuten as Ling. Let's try shooting our abyssal arrow at him. As you can see, he was stunned and fell off the wall. Along with this, we can now kill him smoothly with our combo. So definitely, Selena is one of the heroes you should be aware of when using Ling. You can also take note of heroes like Kufra, Ruby, and Minsithor since they can easily make you fall off the wall. For a fun fact, did you know that Melina can't chase you above the wall? Take a look on this scenario. I am being chased by Nana's Melina. As you can see, Melina follows me wherever I go. But on the brighter side, the only thing Melina can do is watch me from the ground.
Not bad.
Last thing about this skill that we can share is the range of this skill is quite long. So if you are going to leap to another wall, make sure that it is within the range. But we discovered something cool. Take a look at this scenario. We are trying to leap towards the wall which contains the jungle monster with blue buff. But as you can see, the direction indicator of the skill is color red, which definitely means that you can't jump to that wall because it is out of range. But take a look on what we are going to do. As you can see, we were able to jump that far. Let's try it again. So basically, this jump is either a bug or just a hidden feature. Ling's second skill is what you need to deal damage while being mobile. With its short cooldown, you can definitely chase your enemies easily. There are 2 different ways you can use this skill. One is when you are on the ground, and the other one is when you are above in a wall. When using it on ground, you can only deal damage to enemies in a line. But when you use this skill when you are on a wall, you can deal physical damage to a large area of effect. Not only that, the enemies will be slowed down as well, and if the damage is critical, then the slowing effect is much more. We did a little experiment on using his second skill while on walls. As we all know, Blade of the Heptases can deal extra physical damage when you have not dealt or received any damage. And since the damage of this skill will also consider attack effects such as critical chance and lifesteal, using this will also let you deal the extra physical damage on the skill's damage. So when we used his second skill, you can see that there is an additional physical damage. And take note, it's not just one enemy that received it, by all of them got the bonus damage. You might be thinking if the same will happen to Endless Battle's true damage effect. Unfortunately, that doesn't work that way. For Endless Battle, only one enemy will receive the true damage.
One fatal blow is...
Ling's ultimate skill is what you need to deal burst damage and control them by knocking them up. You are invincible while casting this skill. So, this is actually a best counter for enemies with skills that takes time before it can hurt you. An example of that would be Lolita's ultimate skill, Nana's second skill, Johnson's ultimate, and many more. But wait, there's more about this ultimate skill. Upon cracking the ground to knock up the enemies, 4 lightning blades are present in the battlefield around the area of effect for a few seconds. Picking up one of these lightning blades will reset Ling's second skill's cooldown, and will also restore some lightness points. So, you can go spam your second skill while inside the area of effect, as long as you touch a lightning blade. Do take note that when touching a lightning blade, it will disappear from the battlefield. So, to further elaborate, this can only make Ling's second skill cooldown reset up to 4 times, since there are only 4 lightning blades. The good thing about this skill is, it does not need lightness points to be used. So, even if you have already spammed your first and second skill, you can still use your ultimate skill. Lastly, you can pass through walls while casting this skill. In terms of his combo, we usually follow this combo for Ling. First, we leap towards a wall near our target. Then, when the timing is perfect, we use our second skill to dive in and slow down the enemies. You will know that the timing is perfect when you can hit most of the enemies in your second skill's area of effect. Then, depending on the lightness points you have, you can instantly use second skill again to deal a forward stab. Then, use his ultimate skill to chase and crowd control enemies. This will either deal a final blow to the enemy or further delay their agony. Then, Use your second skill again while dealing basic attack to the enemy. Also, pick up the lightning blades, then use your second skill upon picking it up. This will further let the enemy feel true damage on your hits. When you have endless battle on your item build, then if they're still alive, you can use the forbidden jutsu execute if you prefer that spell. Additional tip: it is preferred that when attacking enemies from the wall, you should use your second skill to utilize its additional slowing effects. But in case that you are in rush to kill down the enemy, then you can opt just to chase the enemy with your basic attack. Clicking the basic attack button will automatically let you dash toward the target, as long as the target is within the range of the acceptable dashing distance.
Shut down.
The tips I mentioned are just some of the ways you can use Ling.
You have slain.
This video just guides you on how to use Ling the Kurumi way. We would like to thank our Wakandian brother, Rakuten, for being our lab rat again for this boot camp. You can search for him in-game and tell him how much you appreciate him, willing to sacrifice his pride and honor to be a test subject. Watch his in-game streams and send some flowers and hearts to compensate his sacrifice for us. So, once again, this is Kurumi and that's how you use Ling. Thanks for watching. Do not forget to like and share this video. Also subscribe to our channel for more contents by clicking on the subscribe button below. For our skin giveaway events, check out the community tab for the giveaway event post. We have our coffee account just in case you want to donate us some coffee funds. Check our coffee link on the description of this video. Please, only trust bootcamp videos from our official accounts.
Initiate retreat.
See you on the next Mobile Legends bootcamp. Cheers.